Hey guys, I'm gonna show you guys how to rebuild a 1980s Yamaha G1 golf cart. So you can start by taking off, all the pistons and everything. And once you get to the crank, just like I am, if you have all the new piston kit and everything with you, that's good. Gasket, it's all mine is, and I'm trying out the Amazon piston. Hopefully they work good. I'll show you guys how to put it back together. So, I'm gonna start by putting the bottom gasket, or you're gonna take a knife or whatever you got and clean the bottom of each top cylinder and the bottom, like I am right now. Make sure there's no excess of the old gasket or gasket maker, whatever you put on, because then the new gasket will not be able to sit properly. So I would 100% recommend to clean your head where your old gasket was. Now, after that's clean, if you want to put gasket maker, you can go ahead and put gasket maker on top of it. But take your new gasket, pop it on top. Make sure the inside is clean. Mine's not, obviously. There's still some old gasket maker that had been there. And then, after you put your gasket on, I recommend to put I don't have a towel, but I'm gonna put a bag on it. Put something that will cover your entrance of the crank. Anything, a towel, make sure it's clean though, so no dirt gets in there. Then you're gonna take the piston. EX, if you have a IN, which is in, it goes towards the intake side. If you have an EX like I do, it's towards the exhaust side. So towards the EX is towards the exhaust, so towards the alternator or whatever the starter this is, and you put it towards the exhaust side. The N, which is intake, goes toward the intake, so carburetor side. So you put it towards, pretend the EX sign was the IN, you put it towards this way. But it's exhaust, so you put it on the outside. And when you install these rings, make sure you install them properly. That the outside, you see these pins right here. There's one pin on top and one on the bottom. Where's that pin? Right here. You see how I put my rings? You have to put it so it slides in, so it stops it a certain way. See how mine stops the pin from moving? You gotta put them both like that. And after that, you install the piston. They usually always will give you new one of the piston thing, whatever it's called. If you don't, you can reuse your old one. It's fine. But 100% would get a new one. If if it comes in it, get a new one. If it doesn't, it's fine. And if it doesn't fit, you can reuse your old one. Usually, always should fit. You want to put some oil on that. And then mine goes on the exhaust side, so I want to put it towards the exhaust. You want to shove your piston bearing in a little bit so you don't have to struggle with it while you're getting it on. Towards the exhaust side, my piston is. And once you get it in, it's stuck like that. Hit it in. Once you get it in to the line that's supposed to be, a little bit more. And take a socket also, and just take a hammer and push it in a little bit, or it usually just slide right in. And you're supposed to come with new pins. If you don't, hopefully you guys got your other ones. Gotta cut this. Okay, and those are open. These are tricky, but not tricky. So let me get my nose pliers. I'll get like these pliers, or if you have smaller ones, it's way better. Grab it by this part, and just put that edge in first. Try to get it right to the line, and just twist the sucker in. Like mine's already in, so I'm set with that side pin. I would take off this case, which I'm gonna have to, because I didn't think about that. All right, I'm gonna take off that case real quick. All right, so now I got the cap off. You're just gonna screw the bolts, and it comes off with the coil. Yep, now my motorcycle one. You're gonna have 4 bolts, or I have less because there's 2 of them that's broken. And then now you have this access to this side. So now you're gonna take the other dial pin. Let me just go right here. The other pin for the piston. Grab the same spot. Twist like this. And then this part right here, this edge goes in first to the piston, into the slot, and you just twist it right in. Unless you have the flat ones, and they're a bit tricky. I'm not gonna lie, I did those before. Not the easiest. I'd rather have a bag on your motor, just like I did. So if you by actually drop the pin, it doesn't go into the motor. I never had that, and I don't want to have that. That is not the funnest. As you see, it's a bit tricky for me. Some people can get it in first try. Okay, mine is in. I would twist it at least another 360, another full circle just to make sure it's in there. And then your piston's in. Now your gaskets is still here. You can pull out that towel. I would hold the piston, roll it over, make sure nothing's in the crank. The other piston ring shattered and went inside of it. I got most of it out, so that's good. And then here's your jug. I was confused how to get the rebuild kit, but there's a regular 68 millimeter piston. Okay, now you take this, your jug, make sure it's clean inside, no scoring, nothing, and make sure your stuff are still lined, as mine popped off. See, it's always good to check. Put it on. And then you have probably a struggle with the piston ring. And some people might not know this, but when you put the jug in and the piston in, please do not do like I did before, and do not put oil around the piston. Don't forget to put oil around the piston, because if you do, your motor will go boom boom again, and you do not want that to happen. Alright, now my piston thing is in. I'm gonna get a hammer. Rubber hammer, not a hammer. You want to get rubber on like this, and just tap it in. Don't hammer it. Just tap it in. If it doesn't want to go in with a slight little ding, make sure your rings are fine, because I crushed mine before. And rolled it a few times. Make sure it's good to go. As mine looks perfect. It looks like it should be good. Then grab your new top gasket. Which one is the new one? This is the new one. Make your new top gasket. Again, make sure it's nice and clean with a knife or whatever you got to clean it out from. Make sure you don't have none of the gasket maker or anything, because that will screw it up a little bit. Then put this thing, doesn't matter which way it goes, pop it on top. This one's a little bit too big. I think so. Yeah. I think it was a bit too big they gave me. Well, I got a bigger one. You can see that the whole difference. So I'm gonna have to reuse my old one, which is completely fine. Nothing wrong with this one. Pop it on. And then you got your exhaust gasket they should give you and your intake gasket. That's what I'm going to replace too. And then you check your cylinder head. Make sure there's no damage on them. Mine is completely fine. Nothing. I will wipe it off with my sweater. Make sure it's clean. Get these bolts out. This is the serial number for the piston. Or yeah, right there. And then it does matter which way you put these. This part has to go the pulley, so not this way. Has to go the other way. Put it on there. Take your bolts. Put them on one by one. If you have washers, use the washers. This one did not come with the washers, or the piston when I took it off did not have the washers. But if yours does, please use the washers. Oh, I am so sorry. I forgot to put the oil. Do not forget to put the oil on. It is very dangerous to run without it. So you want to put the oil in. Just get it on your finger, go around the piston, all around it. Try to get every single little spot. Move the crank to the bottom. Get some finger in the oil. Rub it on the corners of the piston and on the cylinder everywhere you can. And put extra so it's a coat. So you do not score your piston. Without the oil, you will screw your piston up, and you will not have a fun go fast kart or golf cart. As you see, you put oil in the piston everywhere, and then you put the cylinder on. I can't believe I forgot it. And then you take your drill or wrench, whatever you like to use to screw it in, and screw it in. I lost my bolt. I'll get back to you guys when I finish. I torqued them with the drill. Obviously, you want to go with the wrench and make sure they're nice and hand tight. Not to the point that they're about to strip, but to the point that you feel that they're safe. So what I do is just, until I feel it's getting tighter, torqued. Then you go to the X. Same one I did with the drill, and it's still loose. You just go with your thumb right here like this, and just your thumb will start hurting, and that's when you know. Not to the point that you break your thumb, but the point that you know that it's hurting, and that's when you feel it's torque. Unless you're a big muscle man. That one slipped off the socket. I think it's size 12, not size 13. and that's torque. And then now you should have really good compression. And then it's me just spin back. And it sounds good to me. You can see the new gasket on the outside. And seems good. That's how I rebuild a Yamaha G1 motor. Don't forget to like and subscribe to see more videos of rebuilding engines.